guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this look. It's inspired by one of my favorite makeup artists on Instagram. His name is Guerlain no Guerlain. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, but if you're interested in checking him out, I'm going to leave all of his Instagram info down below in the description box. But let's go ahead and get into this look. I started off priming my eyes with my Makeup Revolution Concealer in C12 as usual. I'm just going to use that to carve underneath my brows and prime my eyes. So I'm just going to lay this down and make sure it dries down all the way before I apply my shadows. I'm going to apply a little bit of tape on the side of my eye just to create a nice clean line once I'm done, and then I'm going to jump into the Morphe Dare to Create palette. I'm using the shade Create, which is a hot pink kind of fuchsia type color, and I'm placing that onto the crease first, and I'm just going to buff that in using a Morphe M506 brush. Then to blend out that hot fuchsia shade, I'm going in with Define Me, which is one of the transition colors in the middle row of the palette. And I'm going in with another Morphe M506. This brush has been my favorite right now for all of my eye looks. So I bought a couple of them not too long ago to use for all of my makeup looks. And basically what I've been doing is switching them out every time I have a new color that I'm using. For example, with this look, I have a separate M506 for the hot pink color, a separate one for the transition shade, and a separate one for the dark purple that I'm going to apply next. So next I'm going in with this shade called Forever. The only downfall about this eyeshadow is it was a little difficult to blend. I had to kind of work with it a little bit longer to get the edges to blend out really well. But other than that, I didn't really have any issues with the eyeshadows that I used today. It's just that dark purple that was kind of a little bit more difficult to blend. So I think what I'll do next time is build the color up with a little bit at a time versus packing it on like I usually do and then trying to blend it out afterwards. But next I'm going to go ahead and start cutting my crease. I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution concealer again. This one is in the shade C1. This is the concealer I always use to cut my crease because it's a lot lighter than the one that I use to prime my eyes. So the shadows that I apply on top of it come out a lot more pigmented and more vibrant that way. So I'm basically just going to cut my crease, fill it in, and just make sure that the outer edge of the cut crease is well blended into the outer corners. So next I'm going to go into the Jouer Rose Gold palette. They just came out with this palette. I'm using the shade Champagne Bronze and applying that all over my lid to fill in my cut crease. So now it's time to start creating our wing. I'm using the Pretty Vulgar ink gel liner. I learned from Melissa Samways here on YouTube that in Brazil, these are called angel wings, which makes so much sense because it really does look like angel wings with the curve at the top. So I'm just using the gel liner to create the shape of the wing. Then I'm going to go in with the NYX matte liquid liner just to smooth out any little bumps and to really bold out the liner. I wanted a little bit more like shimmer and metallicness going on the lid space. So I mixed two of Milani's eye toppers in Luminous Light and Luster Light and apply that all over the lid using a small liner brush. I'm also going to add some black eyeshadow to the bottom of my angel wing just to make it easier for me to smoke it out later on once I'm done applying my foundation and concealer and all that other stuff. So I'm going to take a break from the eyes now and move on to skin. I'm first going to start off priming my skin using the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I'm applying this with a brush just to make sure I get like the ultimate effect from the primer, because it is supposed to be more of a like luminous primer and kind of give you like that glow underneath your foundation. So I'm going to apply that first and then give my skin a little bit of extra glow using some liquid highlighter drops from OPV Beauty. And I'm just going to apply that onto the high points of my face, so the cheekbones, chin, nose, and forehead. And this is just going to really kind of turn up the glow underneath my foundation. Then for my foundation, I'm going in with the Jouer Essential High Coverage Foundation. I use two colors in this. One is cocoa and one is bronze, and I mix them together to get a little bit closer to my shade. I feel like I should have probably added a little bit more of the darker foundation, because once I started applying my concealer, it looked a little bit on the lighter side, but I didn't really mind it too much because I knew I was going to put bronzer and all that other stuff on. So I'm going to go ahead and move on and start applying my concealer. I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Sucre Orge. Hopefully I said that right. I have no idea how to say that. I use that basically just to highlight the under eyes and all the areas that I typically highlight. I blended it out with a brush as usual and then went over it using my Morphe sponge just to make sure I get that super smooth finish. Then to set everything, I'm going in with the Too Faced It's Bananas setting powder. This is from their Tutti Frutti collection. I just bought this recently and I'm absolutely loving this powder so much. It kind of gives like this really diffused like look underneath the eyes. It doesn't feel heavy at all, and I like the fact that it's not super yellow, so it didn't really change like the color of my concealer either. But I think the most exciting part is the fact that it smells like bananas. But yeah, this powder definitely has my stamp of approval, so if you're looking for a new setting powder, definitely give this one a try. So you guys know I'm not like super big on wearing blush. I'm more of like a bronzer type of person, and I picked up a few, one of them being the Guerlain Terracotta bronzer, which is what I'm using today. This one is in the shade number 7. I saw so many good reviews about this bronzer and it definitely didn't disappoint. This bronzer is really amazing. I feel like the color is absolutely perfect and exactly what I was looking for. It's super warm, but it's not red and it's not too orange. It gives you like that perfect amount of warmth. But once I'm done bronzing, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the eyes again. So I'm going in with all the colors that I applied on my crease. I'm first starting with the fuchsia shade Create, and I'm applying that onto the lower lash line to start smoking it out. And I'm also going to bring it into the wing and blend it into that black eyeshadow that I applied earlier. Then I'm going to go into Define Me, which is a transition shade in the middle of the palette, and apply that underneath Create to blend out the outer edges of that fuchsia color. Then I'm going to go into Forever, which is that deep plum shadow, and I'm using that to further smoke out the outer portion of the lower lash line as well as the lower part of our liner. And to bold out the look even more, because I really want this lower lash line to be super bold and smoky, I'm going in with Smashbox's gel liner in the shade Fishnet and applying that onto the outer half of the waterline and dragging it into the lashes using a smaller shader brush. But that's pretty much it for the eyes. All we need is some mascara and some lashes. So I'm going in with the Lancome Grandiose mascara to prep for my falsies. And then the false lashes that I'm using are from Bold Face Makeup, and these are from the Muse collection. I'm going to pop those on using some tweezers and then just press them together with my natural lashes using a pair of lash curlers. For the lower lash line, I'm going to add some L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer, as I always do. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, then work on my brows. To fill in my brows, I'm going in with the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade in the shade Ebony and using a small little liner brush and just creating some nice little brush strokes into my brows to give them a fuller look. I'm then going to set my brows using some Maybelline brow mascara and then pop on some extra mascara onto my lower lashes. For the inner corner highlight, I'm going back into the Jouer Rose Gold palette and I'm taking the shade Rose Quartz, and with a little brush, I'm just going to pop that into the inner corners to open the eyes a little bit more. And now it's time for highlighter. I'm first going in with the Joiye Cosmetics Strobe Drops in the shade Peach. This is pretty much just going to give my highlight that little bit of extra intensity. Then for my powder, I'm going in with the Jackie Aina and Artist Couture highlighter in Le Peach. I'm setting everything using the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And then I'm going to go ahead and start working on my lips. I'm first going to line them using the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Cold Brew. Then to fill in my lips, I'm using two products from Jouer. The first one I'm going in with is their lip creme in Rose Gold, and I'm also going to use their Rose Gold lip topper. And I'm going to finish this look off using the Fenty Beauty blotting powder just to kind of get rid of any excess oil that may have accumulated while we were doing our makeup. And that is pretty much it for this look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. I really love the way this look came out and I hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hopefully I will see you guys in my next tutorial.